What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's me, Antonio, coming at you with another video today. I wanted to talk about education. I just had my first experience this morning with my 5-year-old daughter's online Zoom teaching. I guess if that's what you want to call it. They're having these teachers reach out to kids and having the parents go to the schools and pick up these laptops, and they take them home and you connect to the internet, and you get on class with, they call them teams. You get on class with your team, and the teachers is basically on Zoom talking to the kids, asking them very basic random questions, educational stuff. And I woke my daughter up early. She used to wake up early a lot, but now she's used to sleeping in, and she woke up early. She was upset. I sat her down at the desk in front of the computer. She really didn't say nothing for the first 2 hours, getting her to wave at her new classmates and her teachers, answered a few questions. She's learning her colors and things like that. I have a notepad, like one of those, like, see, back in the days, in my day, in the early 90s, we had notebooks and chalkboards and the little scratch pads and stuff like that. So I've been bought her a scratch pad, been teaching her numbers and letters and things like that. So she's learning her colors and her oranges. She watches Mother Goose Club. That's like her favorite thing to watch. I could play that all day on YouTube for her and my son. But I just wanted to get in today about education before people get too deep into this whole thing about going back out into the public school during COVID, and the whole 12 years of school and what they're really teaching kids in school, what's really needed and what's necessary. Life experience and life-changing types of education. Then you go off to college thinking you know what you want to do, and you end up in $100,000 with student loan debt for grasshopper reproduction on the moon, because everybody want to be so fancy with their degrees. So, you can't find a job to use your degree in grasshopper reproduction on the moon. So now that you're $100,000 in student loan debt, you getting a job as a CVS pharmacist, if that. You work in customer service at some call center somewhere. So, luckily for me, I always knew I wanted to be in computers, so I took my higher learning in, information technology. So it's there. I have a fancy, expensive resume, but I'm versed in computers, so that's a plus. My generation is considered a generation that's going to die in student loan debt, because education is so expensive. There's a reason why, again, education is so expensive and why it's hidden from you. Once you have knowledge, you're able to shape things around you. So, of course, they're going to make people think that, oh, you have to go to college to, make a lot of money in life or to be successful, when really they're putting you in debt. You're 18 years old or 22 years old going into the world with student loan debt, versus taking that money and applying it to something that you can actually use in life. Whether you graduate at 17 or 18, and your parents, they give you a graduation gift. Whether it's a car, you can always get to the money if you have a car. Or whether they want to give you $10,000 after you graduate high school for you to start a business or invest in something. You need to start thinking about what's really education. Knowledge is free now. You have YouTube and Google University. You shouldn't be spending excess dollars on a college education, unless you're going to be a doctor and you're going to change the world and rid Earth of cancer. And those types of jobs, you want to be a scientist. Those are the types of things that you need to be going to Ivy League schools for, to give yourself the education that's needed to venture out into the world for those types of jobs. But we need to get back to basic education and working with your hands to create something. We need to inspire these kids. You're taking out all the art programs. You're taking out all the PE programs. You just got a bunch of kids sitting in class. Technology is changing and it's getting better every year, so no one's using their brain. We're just gonna have a country full of fat and not smart kids, because the technology do most of the work. So we can't even say we're gonna have a bunch of lazy smart people. This country's not. We backtracking at this point. We think you're getting smarter, but we're getting dumber as a civilization. Think about education, man. Think about what you learned growing up. Think about what you want to teach your kids. Try to have a futuristic mind frame. Look at the future. When I started this little t-shirt and mask business, I'm thinking ahead of time. I'm thinking 25 years from now, 50 years from now, when I'm selling these white tees, and 50 years from now, my daughter, for whatever fashion sense the kids have in the future, she can take this business to the next level, and she can be selling glow in the dark jackets or whatever the future, is 20 years from now. So you gotta be mindful, and you gotta be aware, and you gotta not only be present, but you gotta think about where you want to head. You gotta have a goal. You gotta stay busy. But knowledge is where it starts. Knowledge is the most important thing. Also, like money. Money is not the most important thing in the world. You don't get all your happiness from money. Just because you have knowledge don't make you the smartest person in the world, but it can help you make moves. There's plenty of millionaires out there with a second grade, third grade education. So it's not all the way always about knowledge, because some people can't even apply what they learn. You have these people that's out here that's been going to school for 4 years, went to this fancy college, but they can't even give a 1-hour presentation on what they learned. So we got to do better than that. We got to stop going into debt. We got to reach out to people that actually know how to do stuff. Stop listening to professors, give you a half year's worth of education on business, on starting a business, but they never even ran a business themselves. That's weird. You a college professor in African American studies, but you white. Come on, man, this stuff don't make sense. I need to be learning how to read and write and math. All that stuff you learn, and that's basic knowledge. You learn that in elementary school. By the time you leave elementary school, you should be learning a second language. By the time you leave middle school, you should be able to start your own business. You should have basic knowledge of the world you're about to get ready to step in. You shouldn't need another 4 years of high school. These kids go into puberty, and in some countries are considered adults at the age of 13 and 14. So all hands on deck. Get your education, man. That's something that nobody can take from you. Once you know how to quiet your mind and calm your spirit, get you some education and get you some knowledge, you're able to make power moves. It's always a noble deed to seek knowledge. You can never go wrong seeking knowledge. They make you a better person. And the more you know, and the more you know yourself, the more you can make the right moves. School isn't for everybody. Knowledge isn't for everybody. Everybody's not going to be a king. You have to have some people, again, on that spectrum. That spectrum of who's right and who's wrong, and, good and evil and everything in between. You just got to be able to make the right decisions for you and the people around you. But that starts with education. You got to be knowledgeable in how to deal with people, or how to empathize with people, or how to sympathize with people, or how to, move in different directions. I learned from a few different things. Teachers, books, life experiences, even things I like to do as a hobby, reading comic books, playing video games, and things like that. Those things teach you how to make the right decisions at the right time. And it's all about timing, man. You got to be ready for this new age. It's not, people not reading books no more. Everything gets fed fast to you online. You got to be able to slow down, this world. You got to be able to slow down the world around you sometimes and seek what's real. And once you have knowledge and wisdom and experience, you're able to determine what's real and what's fake, what deserves your attention and what does not deserve your attention. what you need to put energy into, and what, walk it out. But that's all I wanted to talk about today. I just wanted to make sure I stay consistent with the videos. Pretty fun. Started reading tarot on Facebook last night. It was like 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So, we doing pretty good. I got my deck with me today. About to get ready to start reading some tarot, shuffling up, and thinking of some ideas and how I want to incorporate it into my life. But y'all be safe, man. Y'all have a good day. I'm gonna come back at y'all with another video. Holla.